pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Before we start tonight, I'd like to ask everybody to bow their heads for a moment of silence for 9/11. Open the meeting of September 11th, 2025 with accepting of the minutes. Have everybody reviewed the minutes? Any amendments, corrections? For August 14th?
14th.
Yep.
Just that ditching and grading. Misspelling. And then we wanted the names of the people that were appointed to the board of review in the minutes. For those corrections, I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
Matt Beecher seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm saying I wasn't here.
August 27th, budget workshop meeting. Reviewed the minutes. I know they're very generic, but we went over a lot and it was all pertaining to the budget.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Matt Rathling makes motion. Second,
Second.
Jim Bratt seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I don't have anything to report. Bobby said all she's doing right now is doing a lot of pictures and a lot of data collection for the reassessment. Haven't heard anything from Kathy. And Bill, you have anything to add? Yeah, we have it. Is there anything else? What happened up on Dublin Road?
One camera? Oh,
Up at Goodspeed's old place? Okay. Well, next time I go out to the county, I can go into real property and see if Bill can. Okay.
they limit it? Is that the problem?
Okay. All right. I'll leave it up to you then, Bill. If you want me to dig in, find out anything, I will.
They're out there and they might have something up there, but it's not on current town.
Yeah. Sometimes there's a lag. Okay. Scott.
Rich report, we've been mowing roads, cutting back brush, all the roads. Been making sure the intersections are cut back so everybody can see good, and the road signs. We've been doing a bunch of ditching. We put culverts in on Toothville Hill when we had a bunch of problems with ice and rock. We graded all the dirts. The firewood's all up for the year, cut, split, put away. We worked on some problems up on Squiddy Hill. We've been patching potholes all over. And water. Of course, everybody knows the internet went down, so everything went down with the pump out. So that was a tough time to it came back down and but the Mark was able to get it back going again. We have an inspector next week, so we mowed everything and everything looks good over the water barn, on the wells and
Where's the inspection of the water field? Pump?
everything. They go through the whole thing. And the other one was Gregory. He did turn 18. He's looking, I spoke to Bosie's a woman today about a CDL. They're gonna try to get him into that course. That intern did. Other than that, my hands are tied until
Right.
that's it.
Okay. For new business. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to do a tax cap override this year. Mike drew up a local law for us to review and pass a resolution, pass a law. Is there anything we should know about this law, Mike?
The law's pretty straightforward. You're not bound. You're at the first step of the process tonight. If you decide to go forward, that is to pass the resolution and hold a public hearing. Because it's a local law, and the only way we can do this with a local law, we'll have to have a public hearing. So the timeline would be tonight, pass the resolution, hold a public hearing at your October meeting, hold a public hearing, and then if at that point in time, you want to go forward, you can then vote on the local law. Having a local law doesn't require you to use local. There's really no downside to it. But if you don't adopt it, and then you need to get along in the budgeting process, and you do need to go over the tax cap levy, your stuff.
Okay,
Do you need, two motions in, one for the resolution, one for the public hearing?
The resolution is scheduled for just, so I need just one motion in the resolution for public hearing.
All right, entertain a motion.
Matt Rathman makes motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Jim makes a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Vote unanimous, Donna. Okay. And Mike, with everything you set up to us for the procurement policy and the surplus and the capital one, can we wait till October? Give us a month to review this?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to go, it's simply here. If you'd like, I'll point out
Yes, please.
some of the things that, you focused on when you go through those policies. Obviously, procurement is not a new thing. This one, brings over a lot structurally, and conceptually in the current policy. The basics being there's a group of action. By virtue of the amount of money involved and the nature of the action requires competitive bidding, and that's that. And then there's another group of actions that don't automatically by operation of state law require competitive bidding and allow you by a local policy to decide what actions need to be taken in order to secure a contract. And those actions can range anywhere from nothing at all to 3 verbal quotes, to 3 written quotes, to request for proposal, and it's written, sealed, bid. And the key with any procurement policy is for you to decide either by dollar amount or by nature of either the purchase of the product or the service, which of those categories you want it to fall into. Obviously, the fewer dollars that are involved, the less of a process and procedure you want to require to be followed. Beyond that, I think, the only other, kind of thing that is new to this particular draft is there's a sometimes a question or an uncertainty about whether enough has been done either to investigate and get the best possible price, or alternatively to document what has been done so that it's not just in somebody's head, but it's actually written down and you can see who was called, who submitted a quote, etc. And there is there's something different in this particular format that hasn't been in your existing procurement policy for a while. And you can decide if you look at page 2, it's a general sort of recommendation now in terms of best practices with procurement policies is that the municipality designate a point person who has authority to be the principal public procurement official. So when you look at authority and duty on page 2, you'll see that I've plugged in there the town supervisor as being that person. That's not required by law, and you could choose to have a different person in the town be that person.
No, that sounds good.
Deputy supervisor sounds better.
Well, that's the next one, Joel. We're coming here. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want? There's no pay increase, right?
Well, that was the first second. So, and again, some of this comes from large municipalities where there's more staff and there's more specialization in terms of who does what. And in some municipalities, there really is a dedicated purchasing officer. There is one person who, all the paperwork, and it's usually a clerical person. And in other municipalities, there's a contract administration individual or even a department. So looking just beyond the process of deciding, well, who are we going to contract with, who gave us the best price, who gave us the best terms. Once you entered into the contract, there are other things that need to be done. You need to make sure that what you're paying for, you're actually getting. If there's an issue with performance, somebody's got to follow up. And that's often the purview of the contract compliance administration officer. A lot of times that's the individual who gets asked questions like, all right, well, I want to go with this bid, and it's not at the highest, it's not the lowest bid, but I think it's the best bid. And here's why. Can I do that? And if I do that, what do I need to do in order to document that? So you got to designate someone to whom those questions should go. Sometimes the question is, do I need to do an RFP or do I not? I've just started the conversation going, and you'll probably hate me for it, by putting Joel in there as that person.
You should be Matt Rathman.
Yeah.
More familiar with us.
And I did it well in advance of the adoption of the budget in case Joel wanted to ask for an increase in his salary, which he probably will.
You can ask all you want.
Ask is no problem.
So in any event, those are a couple things that you need to focus on. Otherwise, I guess I'll just finish by saying the last thing that is different with this procurement policy compared to the one we currently have is actually did some forms.
Yeah, I saw.
and
Well, that's each verbal.
to try and create a little uniformity in terms of how people document what they do. There's a form for verbal quotes, there's a form for written quotes, there's a form for the rare occasion when somebody feels like this is an emergency. One of the exceptions to the sort of traditional approach is, contracting to a municipality is there's an emergency. We need something right now, and so
Water main breaks and we need excavator.
yeah, you got something in here. You need to get one of those emergency audit, response providers in there right away. There's a form that is going to prompt whoever's making that decision to explain what the emergency is, why they believe that you can't go through the normal purchasing process. So instead of it just being kind of a fiddle on the back of a cocktail napkin or something, you actually have a form. And then I suppose I did say that was last one, you do one extra last. Now you're required to list the individuals by name, see who are responsible for purchasing. That didn't used to be part of the procurement policy. But if you look at page 11, as far as I can tell, unless you've got some departments hidden away that I'm not aware of, I think I've got all of the departments or functions of the town identified, and the individuals who, if they were making a purchasing decision or initiating a purchase for those departments, that's who it would be. But if that's wrong, if you want to add or subtract or change, that's something that you should be thinking about when you're going through the policy.
Okay. Well, it's very involved compared to the old one.
Yes.
So I got a question. The emergency one, if I'm following this right, that's section 103, is that what it's in? If it's truly an emergency or public works?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly right.
So with every purchase, I have to go through Nate.
Or Matt, whoever we appoint.
Correct. And you could tweak it, so the place that you would do, it was a couple places you would do it, but take a look at page 7. Because that's one of the things you're going to want to focus on anyway. And you'll see a chart there, which basically describes the different kinds of contracts, and there's cutoff for amount. And then depending upon what kind of contract it is and how many dollars are involved, over to the right, you can see whether you need verbal quotes or written quotes or written bids, or you need to send out RFPs. So it basically tells you if this, then that. This is what you have to do. But those numbers are not written in stone. So for example, it says for purchase contracts of $5,000 or less, you need 3 verbal quotes. Well, you might decide that's too high.
It doesn't say 3, it says 1.
No, that's not the number of quotes. That's the category. If you look at the asterisks after verbal quotes and you go down below.
Oh, 3 sources, yeah. Okay, so what's each column mean up there? How come there's different columns?
Well, because there's different columns may apply depending upon where you are in the far left column.
Why not just say you need a written quote if it's 5,000 to 10,000? What's the difference between a 5,000 to 10,000 and 10,000 to 20? It's over one column. What's the difference between column 2 and column 3?
Verbal or written?
No, it says written.
10 to 20,
Why is it what the columns? I don't understand what the columns mean.
yeah, that's a good point, Matt. That, that needs some clarification. That is an ambiguity. And it may, now that I'm looking at it more, it actually may be, that you're correct in that interpretation. That, 1 and 2 was 1 verbal quote, 2 verbal quotes, or 3 written quotes. I'm not so sure. I think the important thing is if you guys decide what you want to require for what dollar amounts, I'll make sure that that gets carried over.
I think all you have to do with that charge, just get rid of that asterisk up for verbal and for written.
Yeah, the only other thing you'd have to change is if you have something that you want 3 verbal quotes for as opposed to just 2. 'Cause you-
Right.
Mhm.
Right. But that is, that 5,000, given.
I mean, is there a state law that says you have to? Is there a law that says you have to follow a certain dollar amount to do?
No,
There's no
Set
law.
that.
It's up to each individual town.
the only requirements over are that if you're purchasing good or services having a value over $20,000, okay, then you're state law.
Right.
If you're doing public works over 35,000, then you're state law.
Okay.
But underneath those numbers, it's local policy.
Okay.
Okay. And right now, your local policy is for a purchase contract between $250 and $2,999, 2 verbal quotes. Okay. So that's pretty small.
Yeah.
And maybe you wanna
Nowadays.
keep it that way. But that goes back to it was updated in 2013, but
I think it was written 93, wasn't it?
actually adopted back in 1992.
So
We figure inflation in there.
Yeah. a little bit.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Would it be beneficial though to have the pre-written quotes instead of being 20,000, like 5,000?
Well, it's up to us to decide. That's what we got to look at. and decide.
Okay,
now once you're over 25,000, you gotta have a bid.
Right.
And once you're over
you do
25,
anyway.
you said 25. Once
Right.
you're over 20, you gotta have a bid.
Yeah, bid. That's by law.
Okay, all right.
You
I
gotta
just want
put
to
it out
make
to
sure of
bid.
that. Okay.
Okay. So, but if you're, up to 20,000, it's up to you. It's your discretion. Verbal quotes, written quotes, you could say go to bid. I mean, it's whatever you want to do.
If you
And
do
public-
that, it just ties your hands a little
Yeah. Public Works is 35,000, you said, right?
Correct. Yep.
bit. It's right there. Right.
Well, I think we're gonna have to take a week or so to review this and,
Reading.
yeah.
So that's procurement. Capital asset policy, I'm sure gonna be something that primarily gonna have Joe's attention. I'm not aware you guys have that. The case that you were of one for all. Not that John should have done it on that too. You need to know. But it is, something that if you're audited by the comptroller and you don't have one, they'll let you up for it. And it's a simple concept. The assets of the town are the assets of the taxpayer. Part of the job is to what you don't keep track of them and make sure that, it's,
Don't we have a list of our assets
We do.
for our insurance reasons?
Insurance.
Something to do.
Yeah.
This just sets forth, it borrows from years, a governmental accounting standard. And it ties our policy to that standard. If the standard changes, it changes automatically for the policy. You're not gonna worry about getting that. So take a look at that. I don't think there's too much that we don't want to make the list, but maybe. Next, the surplus property.
As Mike shows up, he brings a basket full.
And surplus property is, kind of the flip side of this pyramid. The municipalities put them together. Some put capital assets and surplus together. But the bottom line is, you acquire things and you got policies and procedures for how you do that. And sooner or later, the things you acquire wear out, or they break, or they get to a point where they're not needed, or they don't have any usable value. And then you need a policy and a procedure for how you go about disposing of them. I mean, that's what this policy does. And again, similar to the front end procurement policy, somebody's got to be, in charge. Somebody's got to be signing off on the decision to dispose of surplus property, or how much to get for it, or how to dispose of it. The policy sets forth the different methods of disposing of surplus property, including methods where you don't have to be concerned about value if you're so inclined. For example, you can give an asset to another municipality, including to a school district, and you can make a gift of it. You don't have to get anything back for it in return, and that's okay. But if you did that same transfer to a private individual, it would not be okay. Okay. So that's the surplus property file. And that's that.
What you said, I believe so, Mike.
So when you say you have to list a person, can you have two people on the policy, or is it gotta be a single person?
No, it doesn't have to be a single person. But you obviously don't want, with the exception of categories of dispositions like real estate that require the town board to make the determination. You wouldn't want to have a situation where, you were getting rid of, an old plow blade, and two people had to participate in the decision of whether to do it and how to do it and what to get for it. That would be kind of unwieldy. You could have a lead and a backup, if they were unavailable, that kind of.
So it might have been a single person.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like,
Just
imagine if,
well, I mean, I
Well,
think
just
you should
like
go in
the-
front of the whole town board, though. If how much we're gonna get for something,
we could. I mean, it's just a question. Just understand though that then
Yeah,
you're only gonna
majority rules though.
take those decisions once a month.
Right.
So if there's an opportunity to get rid of something for a fair value,
I don't think there's a big hurry to get rid of something ever.
the day after your meeting,
Right.
you're gonna be stuck, and that buyer may not be there by the time you get to the next meeting.
I think we're gonna have a special meeting, go over everything once we get familiar with everything. Well, thank you, Mike.
Yes.
Does anybody else have anything for Mike? I believe he's free to go home. Cause rest is up to Joel.
You want to talk about that proposed contract before I go?
Yes, uh, if you, if you had a chance to review it,
Yeah.
you think that's, pretty standard? Run of the mill, we did discuss it last month with the board, signing that with a proposal with Homeland Security.
Yeah, well, actually, I think it's, Stan, I was pleasantly surprised. It's one of the more balanced, contracts involving the state of New York that I've ever seen. So, and certainly, the value, that's being offered is legitimate, worthwhile. I wouldn't tweak with it. I wouldn't fool with it. It's fine. I don't have any problem if you enter into it.
Wow.
Which is good because they told me on the telephone, it's virtually impossible to get the state to change one of its contracts anyways. So even if I was sitting here telling you there are 7 things I don't like, the chances of getting any of those 7 things changed is, it's usually a take it or leave it proposition when you're negotiating with the state. That said, understand that, one of the things that I like about it is there's a 90-day out for convenience. So either party can get out on 90 days notice. You get into it, it turns out not to be as clear as easy as you think it's going to be. If you don't want to do it anymore, either 90-day notice and you get out. There's a lot of time spent on the discussion of what is confidential information. And it's a fair and balanced treatment of confidential information. But that is always tricky no matter what, because what the contract is essentially saying is any quote unquote confidential information you get from the state, you have to treat specially. You have to keep it in confidence, make sure it's just not left laying around where people can't get at it. And they have to do the same thing for your quote unquote confidential information.
That's what I was thinking.
At the end of the agreement, any confidential information of the state that you have to give back or destroy if it's kept digitally, and vice versa. So conceptually, it's easy and it's balanced and it's fair. The devil in the details for confidential information is, what is it? Because it doesn't work the way you might think it would work, or maybe the way it should work, which is that if I have information that I think is confidential and I give it to you in the course of our relationship, you put a big stamp on it that says confidential, so that when you get it, you know how to treat it. It doesn't work that way. It's the content of it. So if I got a secret sauce that I think is confidential because nobody knows it except me, and I give you that document and the recipe is in there, you got some sort of responsibility to eyeball that and say, oh, that doesn't look like that should be, known to everybody. I shouldn't be giving that out to everybody. An example, to some extent, would be on the town side, you've got personally identifiable information with respect to town employees and officers that's digitally stored. And now the state is going to have access to that information. And if it ever winds up that as part of this relationship, that data winds up on a server that's owned by the state, and then the relationship ends, they're not supposed to have it anymore. Okay? versa. I think it's more likely that you may have some confidential information that runs in their direction than the other way around. They would say their confidential information is whatever their secret sauce is for preventing bad guys, bad actors from breaking into your system and breaching your firewall and your protections and getting at your bad data. Because obviously, if you think about it, if there's a recipe for how to prevent the bad guys from getting in, and that recipe gets into the hands of bad guys, well, that's the end of that.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's it. I mean, that's, just something to be aware of.
From what I was told by both the state and the county and national, everything works through our IT provider.
Correct. Yeah.
So that we have double protection on anything.
Yeah.
And the way they explained it to me was everything that comes in is covered 24/7, 365. And if there's any tripwires that are alerts, everything gets immediately quarantined right then and there, and it's isolated from the system. They, Ryan at the county showed me how the system worked, and it's quite incredible. It's very advanced, and I know we could never afford that kind of system on our own. And with the state providing it, I think it'd be good for us to get into it because I think the funding will remain there for quite some time.
I hope you're right, because I do think it is a big value add to the town. Now, you have that option to select the extent of the services you're gonna get, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm assuming you're gonna want the broader, more expansive set of services, the 24/7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially with AI now, because all the attacks are really happening when no one is in the office.
I mean, we were selected on that, but what's the term? Is it 3 years?
3 years.
3 years?
3 years with automatic 1 year renewal. After that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So remember, either party can get on 90 days for the
So their protection and what we have here are in tandem, or we have one or the other?
Well, the protection we have now with national, this would be our primary protection. National would go into a pause mode, but it would still remain active from what I was explained. But it wouldn't be, I don't know, be like a guard dog and end of leash that can't bark. It'd be there to watch everything.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how to explain it. So you gotta get talking.
Do you want to act on that tonight?
We did last month.
That's right.
But I sent it to Mike for review before I entered into it with the state. Just a little hesitant to jump into that. Okay, Mike.
Procedure wise, they approved the local law in October, we can still have the public hearing and approve the budget.
Yeah, you gotta say right, want to. From your regular meeting in November.
I've told tonight be the 13th. It's gonna be a little late.
2 days after.
You probably have a special meeting.
The special would be better, and the only reason is that, the local law is effective on filing with the Department of State. So you'll have it adopted on October 9th. But even if I FedEx it the next day, it's probably not gonna get there.
Would you need a week, do you think, for?
Oh, yeah, it should be split up, it didn't have a copy on that. Yeah, that's because they didn't go through it last year.
He made the motion.
That's why. Here's 3 weeks. We did file. It was a copy. Of the actual local law?
Yeah.
I thought you decided you didn't need it.
No, we did.
That's when I called them.
And we ran into the same,
I wouldn't talk. Question me. The comptroller did. Yeah, I once saw. Okay. I know. Okay.
so what do you need a week after that meeting to make sure it's set?
Plenty of time.
All right,
Plenty of time. 'Cause we'll pass it on the 9th, I'll FedEx it out on, the 10th. And, it'll be there on Monday, the 13th, and that'll be that.
so as soon as they just stamp received, then it's, okay. Okay, any further questions for Mike?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Joel?
So we had the budget workshop, I made the changes for your request. So included a tentative budget, you know, how. The budget needs to go through the common, you're gonna go for its common budget. Agenda priority. So, the tentative budget shows that it is over the cap. You have to either meet fund balance or cut expenses by $50,000 or $60,000. You get to below the 2% cap, that's why it's unfortunately considered overriding cap. Our big costs are, of course, you gotta.
Thank you, sir.
The truck purchase, we have retirement health insurance. This tentative budget includes an estimate, like the budget workshop, so that's another where will be. We have a retirement population. I did raise it, but we don't know what those rates are. The current active plan is gonna go up 6%. So if I could stop there for a moment, the brokers are more than willing to come in and review that with you. If you guys wanna do that, but I need to know that plan renews in November 1. No, December.
And open enrollment's what, December, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it would hurt though.
It isn't.
We could do that the same night as the special, would October be too far out?
Well, if you wanted, you guys were gonna change it, I don't think you're gonna go any place where it's gonna cost you more. So I guess whenever you wanna just do that. They probably want a 2 o'clock or 3, probably 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Time frame. Wanted to do that. They have other plans like we did last year. You can move from MVP to BDP, HP, Empire. They do have other plans. My problem with it is normally when you, number one, a move creates chaos for the employees. Any move. The other thing is, you know, if you get a better rate than 6%, somebody else is gonna lose.
Mhm.
Which means the employee. But you're more than welcome, they'll come in and go over all that with you. And offer you whatever. We'll probably need them for the Medicare rate, the Medicare goes way up, yeah. I don't know.
They're talking about pulling the cap right off of Medicare.
So I don't know, but anyway, in this China's budget, it is. Medicare's in there, 6%. I haven't got the actual sales tax figure. Sales tax goes to our outside fund, which is general and highway. They use the same figure as we got last year. That number should be coming out for these things. What's not included in here is I did get the final projected estimate of retirement. And I need to up those figures by about $6,000. Retirement is gonna go way up as Nate, as you tried to make you suspected. I thought it would pull back with the market doing well.
You said
This year what we budgeted is less than the actual bill that's gonna come out. So we're gonna have, an
an overage that will go into fund balance. But next year, it's going up, it's way up.
I said they're 98% funded and they're jumping everybody's rates for retirement.
It's like, I didn't check yours, but for the other town, it was like a 15% increase. So our general insurance went up 9. And our, health insurance going up 6. 6 is a good number for health insurance. Say that right now. We're doing
Yeah,
that well.
that's not bad.
And then the retirement's 15. Probably. So,
And utilities now are
utilities,
anything.
it's scary as ever. Utilities are. I did, as you know, we went kind of low on the, so I tried to account for all the wages, we have a couple people retiring, they're gonna go on to the health insurance. One will not, I don't think it's gonna be replaced. The general town clerk, the part-time won't need health insurance, so that'll be good. But, you know. So that's where it's at. We do, as I say, we need to either use fund balance. And fund balance eventually will disappear if you use it for operation.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about it, it's a big truck, we got one on order for 310. We're gonna need to fund that at some point, then that comes in. And we're gonna be stretching to find it, but the next tandem is like 360 or something like that, or 370 or, you know, whenever that one comes through. We have to do another one. So my point is using fund balance to keep taxes down, eventually it's gonna.
It's gonna catch up with you.
Yeah, we have a lot.
What we got left on this building? How many more years?
Just 1 month, one more payment.
One more.
But that was, you know, it's only 20,000. But it's a great rate.
But we still wanna keep some of that going into a fund
For maintenance.
for maintenance on,
Yeah.
let's not act like we got free money.
So those are some of the highlights of what's going on here. I give you in the estimate, there's things that still aren't available, so right now I'm estimating we need to cut 60,000
To bring it under cap.
to bring it under the cap. That's it. We don't,
Well, I thought the wage increases, we've always done 2%,
we did 3 last year.
did we?
Yeah, I think last year we did, but prior to that, most of the time it was.
But no, Social Security gonna be up 2.67 this year. That's why you 3. The other 2 towns that have union contracts have targeted for 3% increases. So, you know, inflation. But Social Security tells us that inflation was 2.67. I think most of us will argue that it was a lot more than that. 1%, if you did go down to 2%, you'd cut expenditures by
$6,000.
about $6,000, which is not even a 0.5%.
So it'll go from 644 to 6 maybe.
Yeah,
A little over 10.
5997 or
But
something.
you gotta think about your employees gotta be able to survive.
Yeah.
They're out there buying food and gas just like everybody else.
Oh, let's go. That's fine. I'd say stick with it.
I do too.
So that's what we're at. We got a tentative budget. If we don't get tax changes, people even after the preliminary, they hopefully will have a better sales tax number. County's now collecting sales tax on Airbnb, so maybe.
Yeah, that's gonna go full effect, I believe, in November, and you might wanna go down to, I think, October 7th or 8th, they're having a countywide meeting down at Mandy Springs to talk about it, for the Airbnbs. And there's 180 different platforms on that system now, or going to be.
Well, the beauty with Airbnb, if they're truly an Airbnb collects the sales.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of,
I don't know how you're gonna find them all, but
well, if they're in the system,
right. If they're not
if they're,
advertising,
Believe me,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
on their
New
own
York's-
advertising, you're right.
New York
Yeah,
State has this figured out.
Um,
Like everything else.
Yeah, well, this is a revenue source for them, so they got to figure it out. Okay, as far as this budget is concerned, is there a motion to move this from draft tentative to preliminary?
Sounds good to me. I'd make a motion.
Pat Rathman makes a motion.
I'll second.
Jim Bratt seconds. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Unanimous, Donna. So,
so you have to do the 2% override each month.
yeah. And in addition to that, everybody put on your calendar that October 15th, we'll have the special meeting for this. 7 p.m. Is that good for you, Joel?
That's on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Because Thursday night they got the planning board.
No, I can't do the 15th.
What night's good for you?
Could do. let's see, I can do Thursday the 16th.
Can we meet here at 6 o'clock? Okay, we can do 6 o'clock. That way the planning board can meet at 7.
That's Whitehall budget. Or annual regular
So that's a no.
for the 15th. So 16th.
Oh,
16th, we're going to meet at 6 o'clock p.m. for a special meeting.
16th.
Yeah.
That's when you're gonna have a public hearing.
At a regular meeting. No.
No, it'd be a special meeting.
Oh,
Well, no, the public hearing will be on a regular
for the
schedule.
local law for
The
the
spe-
next, right. But then we need another public hearing to pass the budget.
right.
Can we approve the cap override tonight?
We did the law.
But you have to
Oh,
have a
no.
public hearing.
We passed it, but we can't approve it until.
So we're gonna have to have another special meeting before our
more.
November meeting.
So that's the 16th.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're gonna do everything that night.
No, we're gonna have a regular one tonight.
Right. But then you're gonna have
Then we'll approve the budget on the 16th.
right. That's what I mean. All right. Make sure that's put in the legal
Minutes.
notice.
Yeah.
Legal.
We got 2 of them. Okay. And is there anything left, Joel?
Good.
Okay. We have one more thing left. We have bids in from the wood boiler.
Oh, yeah.
I am going to recuse myself because one of the bidders I have purchased a stove from, Mr. Beecher is going to do the bids, so I'm stepping out for a moment.
You don't have to leave.
By law, I'm supposed to. If you refuse.
Really? You're not,
Yeah.
you thought you just can't voice your opinion?
Right.
Get a conflict.
Just because
Get a conflict.
the car does the bones, that don't mean him. Yeah, like just because I bought a car there, we bought it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He doesn't want to.
So we got a price from Huzik Distributor for 17,500. We have a quote from Northern Outdoor Furnaces
where
for
they
the
out of?
seven.
Where they out of?
This one's out of Danby.
All right.
This quote was for $17,974. Let's see.
Are they the same brand? Everything the same on?
The one in Huzik is a
Well,
Crown Royal wood boiler. And then this other one is Northern Outdoor Furnaces.
is there
That's a Crown Royal also.
is there only 2 bids?
Nope.
Oh, one more.
We have a Heatmaster from PC Wood Boiler. There's 2 quotes. The bigger one is $16,998, and then a smaller version was $14,795. And then we had a quote on a central boiler from Hoosick Valley Farmers Exchange for $19,200.
Are you on the thing, BTU? Is that what you would do with a furnace?
Are they all stainless steel?
Great question.
Lifetime warranty, right, Ken?
Is that it? 4 bids?
I believe so. PC wood boiler, Northern, Hoosick Valley, and then Hoosick Distributor.
Hoosick Valley and Hoosick Distributor aren't the same.
Hoosick Valley Farmers Exchange is one, and Hoosick Distributor is a different one. Yes.
How much was Hoosick Valley Exchange?
Hoosick Valley Farmers Exchange was $19,200.
So you get one for 14,
Well, you don't.
That was a smaller
one
BTU.
for 16.9.
Hey, you can come back. We need your
Are they all stainless steel, or
expertise.
do you have brochures on them?
You have a outdoor
There's
furnace?
the brochure on the
Only
one
has
from
one.
Hoosick
It's the-
Valley or from Hoosick Distributor. And then there's one here from the Heat Master.
I'm interested in the Royal one. Those two are.
The Crown Royal right there.
Those are the first two you read?
This is that one.
So the first two are identical, but they're $400 apart.
474. As long as everything the same, installed. Is that installed price included or no?
7400E. Extra large load door.
What's that? The first two?
The one from Hoosick Distributors.
Those are then the one out of Damage, same thing, right?
I
And
believe
that
so.
has an ash
Yes.
pan too.
Those two are the same, right? The first two bids,
Yeah.
the one out of Danby and
And they're stainless?
Hoosick Distributors on his quote, he has that the town of Castleton and the town of Poultney both have the same boiler. So
and all these are installed, right?
yeah, would assume.
What do you think, Jim?
You can take a look here.
I mean, Nate's the only one that has an outdoor furnace. You think he could give us a little advice here? But
Well, he didn't want to have a conflict. I don't.
while we're asking his advice,
I guess
don't tell him where they're from. Just ask about
he
the
did. I
unit.
don't think.
See difference between the stove, just the warranties. Some are a little better than the other, but they're all gonna burn North way.
That one here.
On the side?
I do know that everybody I talked
See,
to
this one here is a
is nervous central boiler.
7400E.
Mm-hmm.
Is what?
That's the one from,
Nervous central
the other
boiler.
company.
That was
Service. No.
Bottom one.
Let's see that guy. Dave,
I think the one the 75 is
Thank
the
you,
one to
Jim.
go with.
7400E.
Same thing.
Same
But
unit.
that one's more money than this
Yep.
It looks like the 17.5 is the one you want to go with. I mean, that's to
one. I
me
believe so,
from Husick Distributing. Is that what it is?
because we don't want the central one, do we?
The what?
Boiler.
What?
We don't want that central boiler.
No,
Yeah.
it's more money anyways.
What's your proof? The PC wood boiler, which was the heat master, was $16,998. That was the cheapest bid.
By $500.
Right.
But nobody knows much about them.
But that one doesn't have an ash pan.
I'll make a motion for the, who's it, 17?
Hoosick
Second. You good with that, Scott?
I'm in favor.
Wait a minute. That's not where you bought yours.
Is that,
We just purchased one from.
Distributor?
Who's a distributor?
doesn't make any difference. I want you guys to make the decision. You know,
It's on camera.
Too late
were-
now.
did you vote on it?
Yes. Um. You made the motion, I second.
All in favor?
I'll say aye. Nate?
I abstain.
Abstain. Yeah. Now we got that done.
All right, now you can read Bill.
I hope you're not buying a dump truck next year, so you can't sit in on that one.
No, I can sit in on a dump truck.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. Can I go?
Yes, certainly, sir.
All right. Highway outside. Join the Galuccio, 196.98. GA Bold and Son, 1,576.61.
You go with
All right. Nick Loomis, $130. Zapone's, 179.95. Emerson Oil Company, 1,098.50. Pete's Tire Barn, 870.38. American Hardware, 104.25. Tyfco Industries, 189.98. Wheeler Auto Parts, 1,677.19. All Climate Hydraulic LLC, $779.30. John Stokowski and Son, 102.22. Fairhaven Auto Supply, 442.18. Wholesale Distributor, 141.35. Cintas, 946.36. So moved.
Thanks.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jim?
Okay, can I back up to old business?
Oh,
Sure.
Sure.
Did we get any information on Meadow Solar? Are we gonna go with,
Yeah, you told me to sign that. I did sign
we
that.
did sign up,
Yes,
and they're gonna bill us separately?
it takes 90 days for it to come through.
Okay, good,
But no, it's gonna be on the NYSEG bill.
on the NYSEG bill,
It's not gonna be a second bill.
great. Okay, North Granville Water. Slack Chemical, 189.50. JH Consulting Group, $2,032. American Hardware, $39.42. Washington County Treasurer, $317.61. Queensberry Water Department, $80. Verizon, 7602. For a total of 2734.55. I move.
Second.
Yeah.
Matt, Beecher seconds, all in favor?
aye.
All, motion carries. Okay, Matt.
Okay, we've got the North Granville Light bill, 226.74. And then we have the Middle Granville Light bill of 586.54. I move.
Second.
Matt Rathman, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Ken?
503.65. Arrow Bank, 20,596.67. It's 1537. Spectrum 40. BB Waste 115. 2289. New York Vermont Media 3964. Grand Boys Clare 500. 468. 94. Spectrum 109.99. National Business Technologies 11,144.10. North Shore Solutions 350. Staples 254.66. 100. Fifty sauce. Heat business 5564. Totals 25,017.05. So moved.
Second.
Matt Rathman, seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Is there anything else to come before the board?
One more thing I want to mention. Scott, do you know when the last time they mowed up to the town highway?
Yeah, this week.
This way, okay.
Yeah.
If Nate could notify them and tell them no more this year,
Yep.
as dry as it is, I don't think it's, no sense of paying it. You don't need
Yeah,
to.
it's this week or last week, so yeah. Good thing.
Yeah, the way as dry as it is, not growing. It's not fair amount. No.
Okay, I'll take care of that. Matt Rathman,